tal? Hola. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Bueno, buenas tardes. Bienvenidos a la presentación de la rueda de prensa de Información, que como sabéis es una de las películas que forman parte este año de la selección, del festival. Nos hace muchísima ilusión tener el debut en la dirección de Juliette Binoche, que como sabéis es una actriz a la que tenemos muchísimo cariño en el festival. Nos ha visitado en varias ocasiones y fue premio Donostia también un año, con lo que tenerla en su debut en la dirección para nosotros es un honor y estamos muy contentos. Nos acompaña Juliette y nos acompaña también Sébastien de Fonseca, que es el productor de Information. Si os parece, empezamos con las preguntas y yo también me apetece hacer algunas. Muchas gracias. Aquí hay una primera.
Enhorabuena, Juliette. Quisiera preguntarte qué reflexiones te ha provocado ver en el filme todas las dificultades por las que pasaste durante el desarrollo de las representaciones y también, dado lo reciente que tenemos del fallecimiento de Robert Redford, la anécdota que tienes con esta película, porque tengo entendido que él fue uno de los impulsores a que llevases a cabo, o sea, plasmases en un documental todo lo que tenías grabado de la representación. Gracias.
Donc la question est, c'est quoi?
Bueno, es doble, ¿no? Una...
Oh, okay. In French or in English? Well, I was doing the show Inai with Akram Khan. We co-created the show, and we were touring for a long time because we played 100 times in a lot of different continents. And we arrived in New York. That was the end of our show, of our tour. And as I was coming out of the stage, I was still in my stage dress. Robert Redford came to me, to my dressing room, and he pulled me in my dressing room and closed the door behind me, and he said, "You've got to make a film out of this piece. You have to do it." And he repeated several times with a lot of passion. I was a little surprised because I was in front of him, you know, the great actor and director. And so I said, yes, I will, yes. And then I didn't know how I was going to do it because I didn't have a production. I didn't know where to do it. And then finally, because we end the tour in Paris, I asked my sister, who knew about the show, obviously, because she shot so many days of rehearsals that we were going through while rehearsing. Then I put those tapes that my sister shot in a drawer for 15 years. And then 2 years ago, I had two savers, Solène Léger and Ola Strom came to ask me if I wanted to do something, if I had a project. And I was a little taken aback, surprised, but why not? And then I discovered I had a brother like 4 years before. And I learned that he was a producer as well. So I asked Sébastien if he was willing to come with me and meet with Solène and Ola, and he said, yes, let's go for it. And so it started like this. So 2 years ago, we were, embarking in this long journey of putting those tapes back together to make a film in the Ina show. And also, I decided to do also the documentary of the creation of the film, because I wanted to for people to experience what it means to co-create and to also jump into a medium, an artistic medium you don't know anything about. So that was the journey. They trusted me to do it, and I was so thrilled, but also very frightened, because as I was going, there was no script written. I had no, I kind of sensed that I knew the subject matter mattered, especially nowadays in our world where we need to have more co-creations between nations, between languages, between, anything, habits, everything. So it felt like, because we are, Akram and myself, we're very different, different sex, different skin colors, different backgrounds, religions, form of expressing ourselves, coming from dance and coming from acting are very reversed, but they complete each other so well. So showing and risking to show this, the ups and downs of this kind of situation was dangerous, but it felt genuinely right nowadays to do it.
Aquí delante hay una pregunta.
Hola, Irene de Cinéma Rabia. Vous savez déjà que je vous admire beaucoup parce que d'autres festivals ici, oui, vous vous rappelez de moi. Alors, ça a été une bonne surprise pour moi de regarder ces nouveaux projets de danser. Dans au film, on peut voir que ça n'a été pas facile pour vous, quelquefois. Est-ce que vous avez pensé, pendant les essais, d'arrêter le projet? Et non, hein?
Never.
Pas du tout.
Never. No, never.
Okay.
No, because it is going through difficulty is part of the journey of transformation. If you don't have obstacles, you cannot grow. So when even though this terrible thing, going on the wall and not finding the solution of this image that Akram had in his mind, and I could have said no. I say, why don't you go to the wall and being trapped there? But probably because as an actor, you've got to meet the other person's, the director's vision. I was happy to go there, as sometimes I would push him, to go into emotions that he didn't want to go to. I could not show the entire journey because there would be hours and hours, and we had 170 hours of rushes, but I had to make choices and find an equilibrium between all the different layers we went through.
¿Que hay una pregunta?
Hello. Yesterday night, you said that you are one of the people that hope that what's happening in Gaza is going to come to an end. I think we all agree on that. I want to ask you, you're just an actor, and it seems that we live in time where actors speak out more than politicians. There has been a petition that was signed by 4,000 actors. I mentioned some names, Tilda Swinton, Mark Ruffalo, and many others that are asking to boycott Israeli film industry. I don't know if this is the right thing to ask for, boycotting culture. But I would like to ask you, what do you think about this, all of this debate? I mean, if you also feel frustrated by politicians that not being able to put an end on it, and what can culture do about it? Thank you so much.
Well, I'm not sure politics are going to help and save us, because it seems that everybody's trying to be in this kind of egoistical economical minds, and I think arts can help finding ways of communication, but I believe in spiritual connections and wanting to unite. And of course, there are arrangements between nations about economy, but it seems that it's going in such a dark place at the moment. So, we do what we can as actors. I know some are going actually there on a boat and trying to find solutions. I don't know about that, but I think we have to go into our creative side and believe into junctions of collaboration. That's the film is about. I think my film is that, facing a very different person as Akram Khan, and coming from a Muslim world and a more of a Christian world, and it's how do we find areas where we can find a common language, and it means to be humble. He had to have the courage of relinquishing his dancer, because he could not dance with me. He was too much of I could not keep up with his strength and stamina and everything. So he really slowed down. And as an actor, I also had to repeat with him many, many, many hours with him. So he was ready to go down into areas that are not so easy, for a non-actor, or even for actors. But there's a need of going to a place of humility and taking off the pride mask. And I like De Niro saying that at least actors are trying to find truth in what they're doing. I don't think politicians are doing that. They're hiding behind, a way of calculating. But the union is badly needed at the moment. And well, we have European Union, but it seems that it's frightening a lot of people, a lot of other continents as well. So it's. I believe in human beings and our creative side, and that's why I'm here to worship that side.
Sorry, just I want to ask you, because at the Venice Film Festival, there was this discussion about boycotting, I don't know, Gerard Butler or Gal Gadot because they were supporting Israeli politics. And Julia Schnabel said that art should not be boycotted. What do you think about that? Because this is what your community is talking about. If you want, of course. Thank you.
No, I think I answered quite a lot of your question. I think it's enough. Thank you.
Hay una pregunta aquí.
Hi, Catalina Neonea, Romanian magazine Conștiința. Ms. Binoche, I had the pleasure of meeting you and shaking your hand at the Berlinale when you were the president of the international jury a few years ago. And I'm very happy to be here for the first time in San Sebastian when you're making your debut as a director. And for me, these are two grand moments in my career. So to say, I was wondering, what can you tell us about how you interpret? What do these moments mean for you? To be the president of the jury in Berlinale, to have the first film in San Sebastian after a grand career in Cannes, Venice, all over the world. Thank you.
Oh, and they're quite different things. I think, as a president of a jury, you're part of a group, and there's a way to, be a family for this, days of watching films together. The excitement to be in these kind of jury is that everybody's coming from very different places from the world, and you're going to watch films coming from very different places. So it puts you into a place of a planet of joy, because there are differences, because we're discussing sensibility with our sensibilities, different points of view about the views of films, of telling stories and subject matters, and the art of filming. And And so that was very enlightening, I have to say, and I learned a lot, not only in Berlin, but in all of the festivals you can do as a jury is all very informative. And I know as journalists, you watch a lot of films, and you're learning a lot every year, every time you're going through this multi facets of being a human being and artist. Today is a very special day because first of all, I'm with Sébastien, my new brother, and we're here to present this film. And it's like a fairy tale in a way, because I had those amazing two people coming to me and say, "Hey, do you have a project?" And it never happened to me. It's like coming out of a Cinderella or something. And then and when I asked my sister if she would allow me to use some of the rushes, all of the rushes she filmed while we were dancing, she said yes. So it's coming from very special places, and so I feel in this film we're absolutely blessed, and it feels we're in a wave that it's moving by itself, and as we're going, we've been encountering people being interested in releasing the film and showing the film, and the support is so important because doing documentary is very fragile, as you know, and we may know. It's you have very little money. It doesn't make money like fictions can do or other films can do, and so you have to fight for it, but you have to believe in it. That's mainly what it is. And I learned to really be, I think, being exigeante. How do you say that in English? Vigilant, exigeant, demanding, or
Exigente, sí. ¿no?
Yeah, demanding. It's always been in me, I think, as an actress, because I like to feel at the end of the day that I gave them the best I could. Otherwise, it goes on and on and on in my head, and I feel horrible. So, but I think as let's say a director, even though it's I feel like really no. Not really. I was in an editing room for many hours and days, but the passion of it was amazing, and I was accompanied by a lot of great people with me, editors and sound editors as well, and a mixer, and so on every single level, it's been a joy to and challenging journey, but joy to come, to come together. It's the purpose of this film for me, of course, is to go back to that past and try and see what happened. But mainly, it's about, if possibly, inspire people's life into going into places they've never been, and believing in your potential in recreating something new in you, or if you've been dreaming to do something, just do it and be constant in it, and love the challenges of it so it can transform and make a reality of it. Yeah.
Bueno, hay un par de preguntas. Si me permitís, hago yo una pequeña intervención. Hay una cosa en vuestro proyecto que nos llamó mucho la atención cuando la vimos para el festival, y que creo que es una de las cosas más bellas de la película, que es que tiene mucho de acto de generosidad, ¿no? Por tu parte, Juliette, de contarte mucho. Es verdad que el proyecto implicaba aprender a bailar, pero también nos estás desvelando mucho de tu proceso como actriz, y eres una actriz muy conocida, y gran parte de la historia del cine pasa por tu rostro y pasa por tu cuerpo, ¿no? Y verte en primer plano contando tus propios procesos me parece un gesto súper generoso, ¿no? De entrega, bueno, esto es parte de mi trabajo, y quería un poco preguntarte por eso, ¿no? Por cuando tú decides años después que esas imágenes grabadas hace 15 años es el momento de mostrarlas, si también se activan ciertos miedos, pudores, ¿no? De, bueno, ahora voy a contar un poco lo que hay detrás de todos estos personajes que son importantes y que todos conocéis.
the thing is, I didn't know what the film was going to be because I didn't know what was in the rushes that my sister had taken. Mm-hmm. And also I gathered the hours of rehearsals that Akram and I, myself, because we were filming each other as we were going because we didn't have an outsider. We had Suman and Suzanne, you know, our coaches, but as co-directors, we needed to know, you know, how it was going, whether we had ideas, because I had to improvise, because I'm not a dancer. I had to improvise in order to maybe find movements that we could incorporate into the show, but also in the Akram's choreography. So the process was special. So your question was about...
Un poco sobre el pudor, ¿no? De alguna forma, o el miedo a enseñar tu proceso creativo en una película.
Yeah, but I feel that as an actress, I'm showing myself a lot. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's a character, there's a way of behaving, there's a way, but still it's very much me. So there's an intimacy that is always showing off, but that you can transpire, you know, and through the story. But there, I mean, I don't mind. I didn't mind showing myself as the real Juliette, because I was in a journey of trying to find a language with Akram, and I was discovering the language because I thought it was improvisation was going to be the thing, but actually at a certain point, Akram and Suman said, "No, we've got to set it up, because otherwise we're going to be stuck," you know. And so I learned throughout the process, and as I was saying, it's always possible to learn something, and I think that's why I wanted to show that it doesn't matter. You know, I felt ridiculous when I was when we were. I can see my 2-3 editors here as we were editing. There are moments I was ridiculous, and I felt, well, it doesn't matter, because the purpose is to actually arrive to a place that Akram and I we were agreeing on, and that felt truthful and special. And thank God we had those two coaches, Susan and Suman, because they're really our guardian angels, and also my sister's here. And she, I mean, it's amazing that she allowed me to have those rushes, and I was so happy to be in her eyes as well, because I think there's a lot of love, also because she shot with a lot of love.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hay aquí una pregunta, aquí delante.
Bonjour, Gabriela Bravo de Culture et Arts Chili. Je voudrais savoir, en 2007, vous avez sorti de votre zone de confort pour faire quelque chose que vous ne savez pas que c'était danser. Et là, maintenant, vous sortez de votre zone de confort comme actrice en devenant réalisatrice des documentaires. Je voudrais savoir si vous n'avez pas peur de jugement, puisque comme actrice, vous avez été reconnue avec tous les prix du monde, mais en tant que danseuse à cette époque-là, c'était un défi. Et maintenant, comme réalisatrice, c'est un autre défi. Et comment comparez-vous ces deux expériences en tant que défi?
No, le défi is that that people are taking something from the film and be changed by it. That's the défi. After that, I'm sure people are not going to love it, or they're going to love it, or they might discover app. It doesn't matter. It's really is the purpose is really to push or to interrogate people about their lives and where they could go, because I didn't know I could move, or let's call dance, because when I started, I was like a potato, you know. I could not, you know, but I could not really go for it. And I had ideas and feelings, but I couldn't embody them. So it took time it took somebody to believe in me, Suman, my trainer, as well as my the art dance director, rehearsal director, really was believing in me. As Susan Batson, was believing that we could make Links Bridges. I didn't know really how to get there, but we had to be quick because we only had 6 months of rehearsal, and becoming a dancer in 6 months, it's impossible. So you have to find ways, and acting was great in that way. When she said sensation, then it spoke to me. And I could, with this descending in my body with a sensation, the movement could come. But I had to try things, and it didn't work until I felt it. So it was always a point of reference as we were going, and Susan had left, because we had to be not too quick, but yet being on the aim of creating something together. So about the judgment outside, it's not about that. I don't care. I'm not a dancer. And I wouldn't even say I'm not an actress. I'm a human being. And I love, through mediums, experience life and go for it and invent things. And I want to do other things. It's why do we need to be in a place and stay in the place until the end of the life? That is weird to me. We are here just to experience possibilities and go for it and be active in that way. So being creative, I think, is the most important, especially today, because we're behind, fear, we're behind politicians make decisions, and totalitarianism in most of the places. I mean, if we're creators, freedom is in us forever. And it could be creative in a small thing like that, or a bigger thing like that, or a bigger, it doesn't matter. It's a resistance to be creative, a creator, and not just, following what's been decided for us.
Hay tiempo para una última pregunta y aquí hay una.
Bonjour, Alessandro Bizzotto de Players Magazine Italy. Pour Juliette Binoche, en tant qu'actrice, la chose la plus difficile, mais physiquement, pas artistiquement, de travailler avec un chorégraphe très connu qui a travaillé avec l'English National Ballet. Alors, il travaille beaucoup avec les danseurs professionnels. Vous êtes une actrice, mais vous êtes une star. Alors, y a-t-il une façon de s'adapter, une réciprocité en travaillant avec lui et la façon la plus difficile pour votre physique? Et si le producteur, si Sébastien veut dire en quelque chose sur les difficultés de produire un projet comme ça. Et félicitations, je suis tout ému de vous voir.
Oui, alors, du coup, je vais commencer. Je vais dire quelque chose qui est un peu un lieu commun peut-être, mais le cinéma, c'est une industrie de prototypes. Et là, pour le coup, In Motion, c'est vraiment la quintessence du cinéma et du prototype, puisqu'on a fait exactement tout différemment de ce qui se fait normalement. C'est-à-dire que normalement, on écrit un scénario, normalement, on va chercher un financement, et puis ensuite, on tourne un film, et puis, etc. Donc là, tout a été pris à l'envers, puisque les images existaient, que Juliette ne voulait pas écrire, et qu'elle voulait écrire au montage. On écrit à toutes les étapes de la réalisation d'un film, au scénario, la réalisation, le montage, l'écriture, jusqu'au son, jusqu'au bout du son et du générique. Il y a de l'écriture. Et Juliette, elle a pris les choses en main, elle a tout réinterprété, tout repris, et elle a mis tout... Enfin, tout à l'heure, je me disais, pardon, c'est comme les bébés nageurs, c'est-à-dire qu'on les jette dans l'eau et puis ils commencent à nager, et puis en fait, Juliette, elle prend le crawl très très rapidement, quoi. C'est-à-dire qu'elle arrive à, comme ça, elle a réussi avec ténacité à trouver le film. Et donc en tout ça, c'était une aventure en production extraordinaire, parce que moi j'étais témoin des choses et j'étais là pour l'accompagner vraiment dans ce mouvement de création. Et c'est un plaisir de la voir à l'œuvre dans toute cette phase entière de création. Et puis on a eu la chance d'avoir ses partenaires qui sont venus sur quelques mots dits par Juliette un matin à Cannes, pendant un petit déjeuner. Elle a expliqué son projet qui n'était pas écrit, et c'était un projet qui n'était pas le film tel qu'il est aujourd'hui, mais il y avait quand même quelques petites choses du film dans son pitch de départ. Et puis le financement s'est monté vraiment petit à petit, mais quasiment sur un film qui se terminait. C'est-à-dire que voilà, il a fallu que chacun assume de travailler sur un film sur lequel il n'y avait pas beaucoup d'argent, puis un petit peu plus. Et puis, si vous avez de l'argent, il en manque encore un petit peu, donc n'hésitez pas à venir me voir à la fin. mais voilà. Donc en tout cas, c'est une aventure de production absolument atypique, comme souvent, mais là, très particulière aussi parce que c'est Juliette.
And I don't remember, je me souviens plus ce que vous m'avez demandé en premier, là. Parce que...
En tant qu'actrice, Star, la façon la plus difficile, mais physiquement, pas artistiquement, de travailler avec un chorégraphe tellement connu comme lui, y a-t-il une façon de s'adapter, la méthode de notre travail, parce que le danseur travaille d'une façon différente.
Oui, mais maybe I speak in English, it's easier. Akram was very generous to me because he had to let go of his body because he could not be the dancer he used to with me because I could not keep up with the stamina. I could not, so he really had to slow down and help me as I helped him as well as an actor, but I think there was a real generosity in working with me. I felt that as we were going. But as you see in the film, I feel like I will never be able to go through it because it's so hard when you're out of breath and you still have to continue. You feel your body it's not taking you. So because Suman trained me every day and we went walking and running, and so after a while, the body is changing, gets the stamina and gets the capacity of holding you, taking you. And when you feel that you went from A or 0 to, let's say, 10, you feel like life is amazing. We are alive and we have so many capacities. And I also discovered Qigong, the Qi to protect your body, because I started hurting myself when you started to rehearse. I broke toes, and my left knee started to hurt, and so I had an acupuncturist who said, "You've got to go to see this special Qigong master to protect you." And I went every month to be protected, and I really felt I had wonderful people around me in order to get to the show. But I have to say that every single night before I went on stage, I was trembling. I thought, this is it. This time I'm going to be killed. And I have to say that it at the end of the whole experience of dancing and acting together with Akram in the show, I felt like nothing could frighten me anymore because I've been through fear so many times. And it's interesting, why do I go back to that film, and after all these years? But somewhere it was written, and the fact that Robert Redford passed away just 2 or 3 days ago, and I was actually writing to Michelle Statter as it was happening, because I wanted to tell her the story with Robert Redford, and if we could go to Sundance, which I was just dreaming of, because it feels so meaningful. It feels like this journey is, I've been, taken, and all the technicians and all the people surrounding this journey, and, I'm really working with Sébastien, who we didn't know each other's life 7 years ago. Now we really sewing a relationship all together, so it becomes a family story, and it's just a dream, actually.
Pues vamos a dar por finalizada la rueda de prensa. Muchísimas gracias, Juliette y Sébastien, y mucha
Gracias.
suerte con vuestra película.